It was the last day before the holiday period shut everything down, and I was pushing hard to finish my deliveries. Normally, I pace myself, but not today. The streets were busy, traffic slower than usual, and the snow had started lightly dusting the roads. Packages stacked in the van, straps tight, my hands sore from lifting and shifting them all day. Every minute counted because I just wanted to finish, go home, and see my own little Christmas tree waiting in my living room. By late afternoon, I was tired but still moving fast. I had a few addresses left, mostly houses tucked in a quiet part of town, the kind where the lanes twist and you can see every decorated front porch from the sidewalk. Just a few more stops and I'm done, I thought. I pulled up to the driveway of the next delivery. It was a 2-story house with a freshly shoveled path and a pine wreath on the door. I grabbed the parcel, checked the address. Everything matched. As I bent slightly to knock, I noticed a figure standing on the walkway. "Hey," he said, voice casual but firm. "That's my parcel. You can leave it here, no need to knock." I straightened. I can't just leave it on the street, I thought. Regulations were strict. I could get in trouble if the package went missing or got damaged. "Sorry," I said. "I need to deliver it to the door. Company rules." He stepped forward a little. "It's fine. Just give it to me here." I shook my head. Something about the way he spoke didn't sit right, but I tried to keep calm. Maybe just some guy in a rush. Then I noticed him glance back over his shoulder. A movement. Another person emerging from the side of the house. Then 2 more. 3 men, all moving toward his car parked at the curb. Every detail became sharp in my mind. The hooded man's weight shifting, the glint of the knife in his right hand. He stepped toward me, blocking the path to the door. This is bad. Really bad. "Just give it to me," the hooded man said again, closer this time, the knife angled subtly toward my torso. I took a step back. "No, I can't. I have to deliver it to the door." He tilted his head, impatient. "Just said it's mine. That's my house. Don't make this harder." At that moment, the other 3 men moved fast. One slipped into the driver's side of his van parked at the curb. Another jumped into the passenger side. The third stood near the back, handling packages quickly. They were after my van, every single package. I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't move. Every instinct screamed against acting. The hooded man's knife hand shifted slightly, a tiny gesture that communicated everything. The 3 men shoved packages into the back of a dark sedan parked nearby. My packages, carefully stacked, labeled, all gone in seconds. The hooded man lingered for a second, knife still in hand. Then he looked at me directly, turned, and walked back toward the house. I blinked, trying to process what had just happened. My van, every package, gone. I sat down on the curb, watching the snow fall. My mind kept replaying every movement, every subtle detail, the calmness of the man, the efficiency of the others, the silence of the street. Weeks later, I learned that the van was replaced, some deliveries insured, customers received apologies. But for me, the act of being held at knife point, seeing everything I worked for destroyed something in me. Sometimes I think about going back, just delivering again. But every time I picture myself behind the wheel, that knife flashes in my mind. And I know I won't. Every Christmas, I remember that last delivery, the final stop before the holiday, the curb, the snow, the hooded man standing there, calm, collected, knife in hand, teaching me a lesson I'll never forget. It was December 23rd, just before the last major snowstorm of the year. The streets were nearly empty. The only sounds were my tires crunching through thin ice and the occasional gust of wind rattling the traffic signs. The order came through around 10:30 p.m. A farmhouse on the outskirts of town, address typed perfectly into my GPS. It was far outside my normal delivery area, and the weather had turned icy. I hesitated, but the extra cash seemed worth it. The drive took 20 minutes along narrow roads covered in snow. Branches scraped my car. When I arrived, the house stood isolated in darkness. 2 stories, boarded windows, no lights. Not a hint of smoke or movement. I checked the GPS. The address was correct. I knocked. Nothing. Doorbell. Silence. I called the number on the order. 1 ring, then click. Dead. The porch creaked under my boots. The door was slightly ajar, weighing in the wind. Inside was pitch black. I called out, expecting someone, anything. Silence. Then I noticed the smell. Metallic, faintly sweet, like iron mixed with damp wood. Not a normal farmhouse smell. My hand hovered near my flashlight. The floorboards moaned under each step, echoing through the empty space. The dining table was set neatly, plates and silverware arranged as if someone expected company. My delivery sat cold on one plate. No coats, no boots, nothing to suggest anyone had been home. A noise came from upstairs. A thump. Deliberate. I moved toward the stairs, flashlight raised. Shadows stretched across walls, bending unnaturally. Each step I climbed groaned, echoing as if the house itself was alive. At the top, the hallway stretched into darkness. Doors lined the walls. A door at the far end was slightly open. A faint red glow seeped out, pulsing softly. No rhythm, just irregular flashes. Footprints appeared in the dust, barefoot, smeared in mud, leading into the darkness, then disappearing. Someone had been here, moving carefully, leaving just enough evidence to lure me further. I called the number again, this time several rings before going to voicemail. Static, faint breathing. I couldn't tell if it was human. The red glow intensified as I reached the door. I pressed my ear to it. A low hum vibrated through the floorboards. Not music, not anything recognizable. Then movement behind me. Soft, careful. Not on the stairs. Somewhere else, just out of sight. It struck me. This wasn't a missing family. This wasn't a prank. Weeks of planning, anticipating my arrival, waiting for someone like me, a delivery driver, a stranger, and now I was being watched. The sound behind me didn't rush. It didn't scrape or stumble. It moved with intention, like whoever was there understood the layout of the house better than I did. I turned slowly, flashlight sweeping the hallway. Nothing. The red glow from the room behind me pulsed once, then dimmed, like it was responding to my movement. The front door was no longer visible from the hallway. I hadn't gone that far inside, but the house felt different now. Longer, deeper, stretched in ways it hadn't been before. I took a step back. The floor creaked. The sound echoed too long, repeating itself down the hallway. Somewhere in the distance, something shifted in response. I decided to leave. I turned toward where the stairs should have been. Instead, there was a wall. Old wood, nailed together unevenly, as if it had always been there. I ran my hand along it, feeling splinters and cold air leaking through the cracks. This wasn't how the house looked when I walked in. A noise came from upstairs again, not a thump this time. Footsteps, slow, measured, someone walking with no urgency at all. The red glow flared brighter behind me. I stepped back into the room despite every instinct telling me not to. Inside, the box hummed louder now. The photographs inside had changed. More images, different angles. Me on the porch, me in the hallway, me standing exactly where I was now. Someone had been watching long before I arrived. Pinned beneath the photos were notes, handwritten, dates circled in red ink. December 23rd appeared again and again. Alongside it were names, not mine, other drivers, other companies, pizza, groceries, flowers. This wasn't personal, it was routine. The footsteps above stopped. Silence pressed down on the house so heavily it felt like sound itself had been drained away. Then a voice spoke from somewhere close, not yelling, not whispering, calm, practiced. "You came right on time." The hallway lights flickered, shadows bent in ways that didn't match the walls. A figure emerged slowly, stopping just outside the room. They wore heavy clothing, layered and dark, face hidden beneath a hood, no weapon visible, no rush in their posture. They didn't need one. "Do you know how hard it is," the voice continued, "to find people no one will look for right away?" The words landed carefully, like they had been rehearsed. They explained it simply. Holidays, snowstorms, late hours, service workers conditioned to follow instructions without question, a fake address, a disconnected phone number, a house prepared weeks in advance. A perfect system, they said. I backed away, hands raised, searching for anything that could be used to defend myself. My foot hit something on the floor. I looked down. A phone. Cracked screen, still powered on. A notification flashed across it. Order delivered. Someone else was already on their way. The figure tilted their head, noticing my reaction. "You understand now." A door opened somewhere below us. The sound carried clearly. Fresh footsteps entered the house, unaware, trusting the GPS. The figure stepped aside, clearing the hallway, offering a choice without saying the words. "Everyone who survives," they said, "does so by making the same decision." The house creaked as the new arrival called out, confused, asking if anyone was home. I ran, not toward the front door, toward the sound, toward the only chance left. I shouted, loud, desperate. Words tumbled out without structure, just warnings. Something slammed into the wall behind me. The lights shattered. Darkness rushed in. I don't remember leaving the house. I remember snow on my hands, headlights, someone yelling into a radio. They never found the farmhouse again. The address doesn't exist on any map. The photos in the box were never recovered. But every December 23rd, delivery apps still receive orders that lead nowhere. And sometimes, someone accepts them anyway.